Hello and welcome to TOD Plays Games, where we're once again doing some shipbuilding in our probably infamous An Idiot Builds a Ship Starfield series. It's been a long time since I've built a ship. A very long time. My favourite part of this game is the shipbuilding. I absolutely adored it. I loved making a ship and just going off and flying and getting into fights and doing like transport missions and just all of that. The dogfighting side was huge for me. I absolutely loved it. But just being able to have my own ship made this game so much better. And it's so nice to be back doing that again. Now, as you can see, we have the Frontier, or what was the Frontier. It is now a bit of a Frankenstein. That is by choice, because there's a few things that I just wanted to make sure that I had before we went into this. And I've been playing around with a few ideas. I wasn't really sure where I was going to go, but I've built my own landing pad with ship builder at an outpost I've just thrown together. There's not much there, just a warehouse, not a warehouse, a gas storage and a helium-3 mining thing, purely just to start getting the fuel built up. And I'm going to build an outpost, and there's potential for it to be a video down the line, but I don't know outpost building, certainly not like I know ship building. But like I said when we streamed the update, post-May 2024 update, which has added quite a lot of technical elements to Starfield. I mean, I'm pretty sure they said you couldn't do 60 FPS on a console with Starfield, and yet somehow they've delivered it. Certainly on the Series X. So, you know, Bethesda obviously tells the truth all the time. I might be wrong with that, but I'm fairly certain they said you couldn't do 60. But we have 60. We have a load of other stuff, but the highlight, I think, for me, purely from the shipbuilding angle, is empty habs and interior ship decoration. So that's what we're going to focus on. So this video will be building the external ship. The next part will be decorating that ship. And there's a few ideas that I have with that, but really we need to work out what the ship is going to be and how it's going to come together and the shape. Now, this is my New Game Plus 1 playthrough. It's not really a playthrough, I'm just mucking about in the galaxy, doing a few missions, and I really like the smuggling stuff, having done a couple of the smuggling missions. So, with that in mind, let's build a ship that is going to be, think Millennium Falcon, like reputation wise, but in Starfield. That's what I'm aiming for. And I have an idea of shape. This is something that I have sort of come up with myself. It's not necessarily inspired by anything else. This is more just me mucking about with an idea, throwing things together and seeing where we end up. So let's get rid of the bits that I don't really want. And I'll run you through what we're keeping and then where we're going to go with it. I think that's it. Okay, so the bits that we're keeping. But now I'm keeping that shielded cargo, because obviously we need shielded cargo. The other bit that sort of tags into that for our smuggling is the multi-frequency jammer from the Crimson Fleet. So that's good. I absolutely adore the fire rate of these Vanguard Obliterator auto projectors. I love the range. They're pretty solid damage when you can have 6 of them. And an amazing fire rate. We obviously need a second set of weapons, because when these do run out, I am left without any offensive capabilities. But that's that bit. So that's weapons. The other thing, I just like these. I like how these function, the old Demos standard landing gear. And I just think they're kind of cool. I like them. I also like this Hope 4 landing bay. It's quite a big landing bay, obviously space for cargo. What does a smuggler need? He needs a lot of space for cargo. I also have a couple of these extra Deimos landing gear because you can only get these at Deimos, and they're pretty powerful. They have some good thrust on them. So there's that. Obviously we have a few more of these. Get rid of the weapon mounts for now, but we may be bringing them in. I'm not entirely sure how this is going to play out. The other bits that we're keeping, I love this fuel tank. So it is a very small, minimalist fuel tank. It doesn't take up a lot of space. It's only one slot. It can attach to pretty much anything, but it has 400 fuel size, and that will pretty much cover you right the way through the galaxy. So absolutely keeping that. That's key to this. The shield, maybe we'll go into the reactor first. So the reactor is going to be the Class B 39 generator power reactor. I like the Class Bs because they have a pretty good, like, they're middle of the road stats, but they have, for me, they're pretty good. Like, the repair rate there is quite nice, 3.54. The Class B obviously limits us that we can't run Class C equipment, which, for what I'm wanting, this is more of a nippy, well, it's not a starliner, it's not a big beefy frigate or a destroyer or anything massive like that. So this sort of works, and coupled with my favourite engines, the SA-4330s, the old classic 2-power Class A, they're not necessarily the best, they're not necessarily well, they're some of the fastest. I mean, the Class A is the fastest if you just want top speed. But I love these, really love these. Depending on how we go with mobility, which I'd rather have a higher mobility than a higher top speed, we may look at Class B engines. But we need to get this thing put together first before we can see where we're at. The other thing that I'm keeping, and I really like, this is sort of my go-to grav drive, it's 10 power. Obviously you don't leave power in the grav drive all the time, or I certainly don't as I play. But it's fairly solid, it's got a good jump thrust. Again, Class B, it only takes up one slot. And I like the reactor's very slim as well. It means that we can have a smaller ship, or we can cram in extra bits. Like I say, this is our shielded cargo for now. That might change down the line, but this is really the starting blocks. And I have an idea of how I want it to look, but that doesn't necessarily mean that's how it's going to turn out. If you've seen one of these Idiot Builds a Ship videos, you know that I tend to end up all over the place a little bit. Final thing that I should touch on is the good old Deimos Ares bridge. This is the highest cargo level that they have. The thing I love about this is that the bridge itself, it's a good size if you're using the interior view, the first person view inside the ship. You have a good view of the stars, but it also has 8 crew stations, which is more than you'll ever need in that one thing, so that cuts down how many hubs I'd need. It also has the navigation table built into the bridge, and I see this as the focal point of where the crew would plan missions, come up with ideas of where we're going, smuggling routes, information, and this would be the real hub of the working ship. Now, I don't have any crew outside of Vasco at this point, so it's not really a problem, but what I might look to do is maybe hire some crew, some unnamed, and we'll build a smuggling empire or something like that. That's the canon in my head at the minute. I'm wanting to explore this galaxy instead of going through the relay straight away. And the idea is this save and this playthrough will be the playthrough that we do the DLC on when that launches later this year. That's where I am. That's my head canon for what this is going to be. So what we then need to start doing, putting this together. First things first, you know me. I like the idea that the ship is quite predatory, bird of prey style. So the dock, I want it to be on the bottom. The slim one is perfect, it attaches to pretty much any hub. And this means that the ship will come in like descending from high to latch on to another ship. That position of dominance, always above, looking for its next target, and we can really build into the piratey vibe. So that will be going down once we've got it sorted. I don't know what I want to do with Habs. The only reason I have the Hope Tech Armory, this is the empty one so I can fill it myself. The only reason that I have this is because it has the brig, a little mini brig in the middle, which I think is a nice touch and adds a bit of character. And obviously if we are doing some bounty hunting, which we might want, and if there is an element where you can actually capture people down the line, if that's something that they add, then that might come into play. And I don't want a big brig. This might be a thick ship, but I don't want it to feel like it's just big empty spaces. I want walls and I want like segmented sections. You will notice I don't have any of the hab braces. I'm pretty sure I can't get them from here. Unless they've added them. No, they haven't. So it might be that we need to bob over to Hope Tech and just pick up a couple of their braces or spines. Just for linking things together. But let's start to put this together. Now obviously I am a traveller of time and space. But I also have a few credits. Not as rich as I was previously before we went through this. But I think we'll start off with a little bit of Stroud, shall we? And I think every ship, the core block of it, ideally, not that we need any more crew stations, but I like the idea of having an engineering bay. So let's move some of this stuff, and we're going to go engineering. It's going to be down on the bottom, so let's just pop you there. I'll put you there as well. So that links in landing bay into engineering. So we'd have a ladder there. I've already changed my mind. No, I want us to go landing bay. We're going to go through the armory. We don't want to be dragging people through the ship if we're going to throw them in the brig, that kind of thing. So then the next question is, where do we move next? How are we going to build this? Does this fit? There. Oh, it does. Okay, interesting. And does it mess up any of that stuff? No, it doesn't. Okay. So, engineering. Where did that docker go? That works? You gonna let me have that? Don't know if it does. Let's move you for a second. Have a ladder there. I'm happy for that to go there. I don't want ladders all over the place in the armory. I want to decorate it a little bit. And I have gone for the engineering bay with things in it instead of the empty one because I want consoles and things in there. I want it to look like an engineering bay. And then off the back of this, I think we're going to build our engines. And I do like that configuration. Obviously, we need a grav drive as well. Now, in my head, the cargo needs to be the fuel tank needs to be fueled. So let's have you there. It's going to be under elements of the ship, so it's not going to be an easy target for people attacking us. And when we land, we can just when we land, it can be filled there, and then we're fine. Right, okay. And we are too high. So if we wanted, they could, yeah, perfect. Let's pull these out a little bit. Okay. So that gives us a core spine for this ship. It's 32 meters long though, that's a bit of a problem. What if we have a companion one? I'm just piecing this together in my head. That is at the back. So if that goes there, that links in at the back, and then I could have a companionway that links in that docker. So that ladder takes us down and out. That ladder would be when we've docked with a ship. But that's kind of out of the way. Okay. Reactor in the middle. That has brought us in much, much thinner. I need those habs. Those spines. I've messed up a little bit here. But that's fine. We can go off and get those. In fact, I am going to use Demos companionways for where the habs would go. What habs do I want? Out of interest, I definitely want a captain's quarters. Not a Demos, I want a fancy one. I want a nice one. You have a Nova? Nova captain's quarters or Stroud captain's quarters? I don't think the Stroud were that nice, were they? Whereas the Nova stuff is pretty nice. So let's have a Nova captain's quarters, obviously empty. And then we're going to have a Stroud workshop. Again, empty, so we can fill it in with whatever we want. We definitely need a couple of crew. That's a top. Where's the mid? And it would be living quarters, because they come with the beds but nothing else. So let's have 2 of those as well. Okay. So, let's have living quarters. Okay. Don't really want the captain's quarters. Well, we can go through the workshop, and then we'll have the captain's quarters there. How do I feel about that? I'm not overly sure yet. I don't know if I'm going to need these. I'll be honest. I think we have quite a lot of thrust. Let's get rid of them for now. We can always come back and add more if we need to. Obviously that will be different. That will change. Couple of weapons on there. I do want to build this up a little. Can I flip you around? Yes, I can. Perfect. So if I have you there, out of interest, that doesn't clear, does it? No, that's fine. We'd be shooting our own bridge if we had them there, so let's not have them there. What other bits do we have structurally? Do I need an engineering? I mean, it makes sense to. But I'm sort of looking for something a little thinner. I don't want a big square. I want something with a bit of something about it, you know what I mean? So they will be hubs, they will be thinner than that, so that will look a little bit more open. Which isn't necessarily a problem. Right, what did we have? We have the captain's quarters, which is a must. We have the workshop, which we can fill out however we want. We have an armory. We have 2 living quarters for passenger slots, and we have a massive bridge. Yeah, okay, I'm happy with that so far. Now it's really making it look good. And I do want to put things like radiators and stuff on. I quite like those. I can't put you on the back here, can I? Not high enough. Let's have you there for now. Obviously I would like weapons on there. I don't think that's going to happen somehow. But let's see if we can just do something to finish off these My problem with that is it just doesn't... No, I don't love it. The thing I like about these is that it can take these extra weapons. And I'm hoping to give this a little bit of shape. Where's the other wing that we had? Probably want some equipment plates at some point as well. Wings. I would assume that they are two. It kind of finishes it off a little bit, doesn't it? Okay, that's kind of cool. That's interesting. Let's just select all this. Obviously, it looks a little bit thrown together right now. In fact, select everything again. Let's do the colours properly, shall we? Let's just make everything black. Right, okay. So part of the question is, does the bridge want to be higher? Don't think it does. The other problem I'm going to run into is, where does cargo go? Actually, I would love to double you. Can I? I can do. I can. Right. Okay. Perfect. That gives me 2. We've got only 1,000 cargo, but what other cargo have we got? This is where it starts to get heavy. Yeah, that connects in, and it makes the other cargo look seamless. Obviously we need to tweak the colours. But that fills us out that way. We are losing mobility at this point now, so we may need to look at changing our engines. Which isn't going to be too much of a problem, in all honesty. Much as I love these engines, 3,400 cargo is probably enough. That looks quite small, quite closed in. Do I prefer... How many guns can I put on you? Can I do the exact same thing but with this? I can. Now I think that's too thick. Because it is an extra. But is that too? I don't think that they work. I like the idea of having something along there, but I don't think it's that. You sort of need to double them up. That sort of brings it in. I'm creating, obviously this needs tweaking a touch, but I'm bringing in no, that doesn't really finish off that corner quite well. Okay, this is what we do, we're trying things, we're mucking around. What's the difference between you and the Demos one? No, want it more central. Oh. Now. That adds more of a unfinished look to it. But I don't necessarily mind having thrusters on it. Where's my... I just really like that. I do really like that. I think it looks much more finished off than that. But we could maybe use those thrusters elsewhere. Is that too much? Yeah, that just doesn't finish it off for me. Whereas something like this would. Yeah, okay. And how do you look at the front? It's very far forward. That's not awful. Oh, whoops. I didn't mean to do that. Yeah, let's get rid of you. Let's have another one of you. Still works with that. We've got our landing lights. We've got some big old breakers on the front of the ship. That's the bit that fills in, right? Yeah. And that finishes that off better than the Nova, I think. That doesn't... Right, okay. So that's fine. We might put some little bits on the end there just to finish it off. But I kind of like that. I want that to be higher. Is there a Demos one that would link in better? There probably is. Maybe you? Because that way I can get some guns on the back there. Right, so let's move you. What about that spine there? Again, this is more just for protection against this. Oh, interesting. Annoying, but interesting. We can put you there. I don't love that. That's better. I mean, that could live on there. On the bridge. Eventually, when we get close enough. There we go. Because there's a different end. That one. That one. Mind you, it could go on there as well. So what if we had that? That led into that one instead. No. It kinda has to be like that. Is that better? Is there a way that we can sort of wangle this? Right, so you would go on there. I don't know if that works. What's my error? Too few landing gear. Oh. And I'm still not done. And our mobility's down. Okay, so with that in mind then, too few landing gear. None of these are that good. What I could probably do is throw a couple of these on. And then we'll just get a couple more of those Demos ones there. These are just placeholders. Did I move you back? Yeah, I did. Right, so you'd allow that then. Our mobility's down, but that's not the end of the world. We need to change those at HopeTech anyway. HopeTech has the other engines that I want. Sort of quest, well, when that's changed, that's going to look different. So the question then becomes, how do we make this look better? But already, I kind of like it. Let's have a little colour change again. Oh, wrong thing. Right, so for now we're just going all black. Quite like the wing. Is there? You see, I like the thickness of this wing. This extra little bit. Obviously that's changing, so I'd want something to fill that gap. That could work. That adds a bit of protection. This means the shield needs to be moved. Potentially there. So this middle bit is going to be different anyway, but we could have those on there, and then we could just put a little bit of paneling along here or something. Yeah, mobility is a real issue here. But if I'm sticking with these engines, I love how they just seamlessly fit in. We have enough cargo. I don't need to add more cargo. I said I wanted to add radiators and things, but I can't. I mean, that could work. It could work. We could replicate that. Or even have it offset there. Something like that. We could probably, no, we can't get some guns on there, but I could get some guns on there. I actually like the shield being there as well. Although, it could just as easily go there. And then again, it's hidden, it's out the way. Easy to get to for maintenance. These are just very thick panels, aren't they? Part of me wants... Yeah. I just don't know how I'd do it. But part of me wants this thinner. There's no real way. I mean, we could run stuff like that along it, but I don't think that finishes anything off. And that is really just, it might be slimmer, like as a... It's just the same height, so that doesn't really work. And I quite like the Stroud bits. Oh, you know what could work? Could be interesting. It just gives that reinforced idea of the angles. And it's kind of like a breaker. It's not a breaker. But it's kind of like a breaker. The other option is we just don't like that though. How does that look if we colorize everything? I do think it has an aggressive feel to it, which is what I was wanting. No. No, that sort of seamlessly carries on that line there, and then we get to here, and we cut in again just for this crescent shape. Yeah, I like it. The more I look at it, the more it's growing on me. The only thing I'm really missing is weapons and better engines. So I was thinking it was another Vanguard weapon of just going full on the Vanguards, although (24/7) 3711. What do they do? 1414. That's a C, isn't it? Yeah, I can't use class C. Auto Hellion. Is that a... It's not against it. Where was the Vanguard one I saw? Maybe I don't have access to it. That's the one I used to take until I found these. Well, actually, They're 4 power though. But they hit harder. I mean, I'm happy to have something that fires slower. But has big damage. Because I'm going to be stripping shields with the Vanguard autocannons. I do want to gauze. And we're into C's there, aren't we? No, that was a B. Yeah, but this is mostly all C's. Right, okay, so... Power 3. Decent enough damage. We could throw 2 of them on. And that would be the... They'd go at the back. When we eventually line it up. Yeah, they'd go at the back. And we'd be stripping shields with these 6. And then we'd be following up with a couple of shots from there just to finish them off while the faster firing ones are recharging. I like how all of this is hidden. It looks armoured. I'm quite... The more I look at it, the more this is growing on me. The bridge sort of works, and I quite like how this finishes it off. I'm not in love with the straight lines there, but I don't know what else I can add to it. And honestly, do I need to add anything? I mean, at this rate, it's going to be adding things for adding things' sake. Which I don't need to do because that just adds more weight. Can't put any thrusters anywhere, can I? Oh, I could. I don't know, I just think they look kind of cool. And I do think radiators might be worth putting on. Just can't remember where the Demos ones were. It wasn't Demos. Would that work? No. But this might. No. Too big. Oh. Is that clipping? Or is that perfect? You know what? That kind of works. And it fills in a bit of the blank here. Because the ship would need radiators anyway. That's a categorical fact. Don't want it there. Other option is there. They kind of want to be up high, don't they? I think that works. It might not stay. You know what also might work? Having them on the top. Then I can put thrusters there. And it widens this out a little bit. Which I'm absolutely not against. Thrusters there. And it adds a little bit of extra colour. A little bit of a different shade. The more I look at this, the more I'm happy with it. I don't love that bit. Would that work? Because we know that this can just go on here. I mean, this can go anywhere. So if they go... That goes there. Yeah. Oh, really? So what would go on there? Is there a badass missile launcher? Like a Class B badass missile launcher? It's heavy. It would need 10 power. Doesn't even go on there. I was just going to pop it on there, but nothing wants to go on there for some reason. Do I have an equipment plate? I mean, I do. What were these? Three power. Am I ever going to run them at max? At 9? Don't know. That might work. That gives us a centralized, hard-hitting, slow-firing set of cannons. And then the external cannons are the quick-firing, shield-stripping stuff. Okay. Yeah, this is working for me. It's not huge. It's got a little bit of girth to it. It's not huge. I like the shape. I like these wings. I like how they've turned out. It's only 81k. Oh yeah, we need to... Let's put the Hellion beams on left trigger, I'm going to assume. Right, mobility is a problem. And we need to tweak a couple of the structure bits here, which is Hope Tech. Let's have a little look before we jump in. Like I say, this isn't perfect. I mean, it looks aggressive. It does look aggressive. I'm going to fall off the edge here. Alright, yeah, I like this. I want to change, so they were Demos. So what I'll do is we'll strip those out and we'll put the Demos in again. What does it look from the back? And it fits on a landing pad, which is nice. That's a problem I've run into in the past, as you'll know. Quite like that. I quite like having the lights at the rear as well, and I love this fin, and I kind of like it with those radiators as well. And I really like these Demos thrusters. I think they're pretty cool. Obviously we'll strip that out. The cargo fits well, they're shielded at the back. Yeah, okay. And I like this wider bay. Obviously we're going to be smuggling, we're going to be fighting. Let's take off. This isn't done. Like I say, this isn't done. But let's just see how the camera works with it. That sounded pretty cool as it took off. I know that's planet atmosphere, but... so... interesting. No, we do have two. So we can max out everything, and then we'd strip from the engines to go into the grav drive. As and when we needed. I like that. Yeah, okay, we're on to a winner. Let's go and make the little amendments with the Demos thing that I want and the Hope Tech Habs. Bardeen is where my outpost is. Okay, cool. Let's just jump to Demo. I want to see it jumping. So let's just take 8 out of there, or whack 8 in there. It's fairly quick. Didn't really see much of it jumping, did we? Yeah. And then we just whack out the engines there. Cool. Right, I'm going to go make those amendments and then we'll be back. Okay, I've been to Demos and I bought whatever I needed to buy from Demos. The extra thrusters. Yeah, the extra landing gear. So we just have 2 bays of that, which sort of works. We're now at Hope Tech. Bring these in. That links up all of that there quite nicely. And this kind of adds like a skeletal element to the ship. Obviously these bits are covered. So they are protected. And I'm actually really happy with this, having not built a ship for a while, and this is very different to what I normally build, and how I normally mess around with these things. I like it. The colours aren't quite right. But that's fine. The other thing that I was thinking when we were flying around, are these too small? And this would be a good way of... Oh, it only connects onto one. Is that too big? Obviously it twists, it has to twist and move. I mean, this looks like it'll allow it, but also it looks like maybe it shouldn't. big though. It's very big, and it doesn't really link in because we only have the one brace point. That was worth a look. I'm not sold. I like the shape of them, I like the size of them, but I'm just not sold. And we have enough landing gear. It's fine. It's absolutely fine. Right, engines. The other reason that we're here. So, as you guys know, I have those. Now, by changing one engine to a Class B, you may as well change them all. That's part of the problem. So what we could do is just fill all of these out with this. But if I did that and that puts us at 98. It's so close. Because we lose the 10 top speed anyway. There's no way that I can get that back with using anything but a Class A engine. So with that in mind, nah. I think I can stomach 98 mobility. It's only 2 off. No, that doesn't make a difference. That's not really a sacrifice I want to make anyway. Okay. Yeah, okay. It has enough cargo, it has enough crew, it has as good a shield as I'm happy with. It's got a decent amount of hull, it's got a lot of firepower. We can power everything that we need. We've got our jammer. We've got 700, wasn't it? 700, yeah, 740 shielded cargo, and then we've got 2,700 unshielded cargo, which is enough. Like I say, I'm a smuggler. I'm not going to be filling out that much of the ship. We still need it to be nippy and manoeuvrable. And I think that this looks the part. Oh, I don't suppose I can get one of them, can I? The only thing that I might change... I can't change... In fact... would give us an extra, and we're adding some more of those. You know how I said this was too thick? This looked too thick for what I wanted. What if? I can't do this here. But what if we retool this to have a little bit of some sort of runner on it? Like I say, I can't do it here. We'd have to bounce somewhere else. like maybe more of this. We just ran that along. Yeah, I think that would be better. Or, because I don't love these flat surfaces. This isn't going to get us what I want, is it? No. So we're going to have to go with those. That's fine. I think that flows better. And I quite like that build up here, this multi-leveled with the engines as well, and how they rise, the curvature of them there into this whole back section there. Obviously this is separate, this is a focal point all on its own. The way around it is we have the Nova should we just go full Nova cabins? Couldn't we? Because they have the shape to them that just that looks more pleasing on my eye to that, and certainly those. And Nova would be fine. I'd be happy with that. You see what I mean about the evolution of this project and the shipbuilding? We'd still lose the 10 speed, but it's only 10 speed. And I actually quite like... Wait, hold on. Doesn't work. Because we have too much power on the engines. Don't we? Is there 3s, not 2s? Yeah. Okay, with that in mind, would you let me do that? Apparently you would. No, whatever we do with these A's, it isn't going to work. So we're going to have to go B for the size of the ship. That's a shame. What is that? That's a 3. That just, it's so seamless. So seamless. And that wouldn't let me connect it, would it? That's too low, that's far too low. That's okay. So they're a big no. It absolutely has to be those there. That's categorically factual. Has to be those there. So that is 4 power. They're all 3s. I'm being done by the engines. I'm being absolutely done by the engines. What if? That's a 3. I've got 12 to play with. That's just too good. The mobility still isn't there. Because she's a heavy old ship. I hate this restriction. I genuinely hate this restriction. Right, okay. So, we're not allowed to do that. All the Bs are 3, yes? Let's see. We might have to upgrade. We'd lose another load of top speed. What are they? They were 2. How do they attach? Does that work? That sort of works. There were 2. I can't believe that there were 2. That really surprises me. So I'd need 5 of them. Wouldn't I? I'd need to do that. We are really losing some top speed here. And it's a lot of engines. I know it's low power. Wait, hold on, that's a 2. Give me back my bits. It's a 2, right? So what if we just had one of those, and then we had these? No, still doesn't work. I'm adding more weight to this, but I can't even do it. You don't have what I'm looking for. What if? That's 95. That's still not close enough. For what we're losing, that's just not worth it for me. Can't believe I'm being done by engine. Oh, that sort of works. There are 3. But I can't do it. It's too heavy. Two, 6, 5. They're also better than those. Why are they 3 power, yet the C's are 2 power? Is there any B's that are 2 power? No. I feel like I'm just going to have to take a hit here. I don't feel that that is good. I don't feel that that is how it should be. I don't think I should have to take a hit here. So that's 79. That's 8. They're C's. Yeah, I'm not looking at them. That's 72. It's 76. It's almost not worth it for what we lose. I'd have to start cutting. And I don't want to be cutting. I mean, there is places that I could save weight. Absolutely. Is there a Class A engine? It's better. That's a 3 as well, right? 45. Ouch. There isn't. With the engines that I like the look of, there is no way around this. Unless we take the hit and go to a Class C. And even then, I mean, it's a real hit. And how they connect is a bit of a problem. Can I get into the 90s? I'd be looking at 4 of them, wouldn't I? 4 of them is 96. That's the best I'm gonna get. Take the hit on speed. We have 4 of them. Not going to give me another one of them, are you? How does that look? Is that too much? I mean, the other way that we can play it is that goes down there. And that just moves back. But I feel like that exposes... That looks really good. No, I like that. Get rid of you, drop you down. drop you down. That's not terrible. I know we're kind of rejigging this a little. That's not... You could argue that it also hides the flaring from the engine when you're from above. It has a Normandy vibe to it. Oh, interesting. Now it has more of a Normandy vibe to it. And let's swivel these around. Just because, you know, I like my lines. Yeah. That's probably the best I'm going to get, isn't it? And it's kept the idea. And if we change the hubs out for the Nova stuff, I do like that front as well. Yeah, okay. Despite the letdown of the engines, because I really like how the Class A's work and the extra speed, this isn't bad. This is the best that we'll get. Do you have thrusters here? No. Do you not have thrusters here? Oh, they have their own silly thruster, don't they? Yeah. Yeah, okay. Another 74 grand. Okay. It suddenly looks very different. Don't know why. Right, okay. Let's go change those habs. Alright, we're coming in on our outpost. Oh, I thought you'd show me flying in. It's not what I was originally going for. I'm actually okay with this. Certainly the back end is kind of nice. Yeah, I am liking this. This has really got my juices, my creative juices flowing. Right, cool. Let's upgrade this ship. So, first things first. What happens if I add another 2 of these? Nothing. So they will go onto the exterior just to finish off the engines a little bit. And we said hubs, didn't we? In fact, we could just... It was 2 living quarters, wasn't it? And a workshop. Does that work? I might stick with Stroud. Because that join looks a little bit silly for me. Captain's quarters. I mean, these are all empty, so it doesn't matter what's in them. As long as that's Hope Tech, which it is. Sorry, that bit down there is Hope Tech. Which it is. Now, here's the thing. Oh, that instantly takes away mobility if we started adding things onto here. That's fine. We're armoured up. I really do like this shape. I love how it's like a protective armour covering the causeways and how all of this, mainly the reactor, but also the grav drive and the engines, they're all protected. Yeah. And that, I like how that's at the back, although we could move it forward and put something in there. Oh, you'd let me do that, would you? It just opens out these sort of wings a little bit more. Gives us more of a thinner, meaner presence at the front, and it just widens out as we get to these bits. I think that's it. Okay. What are we going to call her? I was thinking something naff like the Stargazer or something like that, but Stargazer has been used in something else. What about... Razor's Edge. It's a bit aggressive. But it is meant to be aggressive. It's an aggressive ship. It's a smuggler's ship. Yeah, I like this. I like this. This video was going on for so much longer than I thought it would. But I think we've designed... I say we. You are part of it. In my mind, you guys are part of this as well. Anybody that watches it. I like that. Oh no, it's inspect, isn't it? We could... Yeah, the Razor's Edge. A little homage to Battlestar Galactica's Razor as well. Fantastic episode. We've got as much mobility as we can out of it. It's aggressive. It's fast-ish. It's not the fastest ship around. It doesn't have to be the fastest ship around. The idea is it can get out of trouble. Either with speed, which against the bigger ships we will, or with firepower, which we have more than enough of. And because I'm spec'd into the particle beam weapons on this ship, they just get the extra bonus damage. Yeah, I like this. I like this a lot. Time for liftoff. Let's have a little look, and then in our next video...
Greetings, Captain.
We'll decorate the interior. So let's watch this baby fly.